Welcome back to Omni After Hours. So week number 5 this week, and what we thought we'd do is do something a little bit different, kind of open ourselves up, be a little bit vulnerable, and talk about some of the mistakes that we've made early on in our detailing and along the journey as well, as we've kind of learnt the art of the craft of detailing. So maybe we kind of take it back to early days. Like, is there anything early that you did that you would absolutely cringe at now if you had to watch that back on video or go watch a younger Glenn detailing?
Well, I think the first mistake is that if you think you're that good and you're still not making mistakes, then that's problem number one. But I think one of the very first things I ever did was hand polish the red Mitsubishi that we talked about on the first episode, and hand polish that car with a sponge, basically.
Just the included sponge.
And a tin of cut and polish, and I'm pretty sure I wasted my time.
Did it look shinier though?
Not really.
So
no scratch removal.
I find that quite funny.
It just looked like I'd applied wax.
The amount of time it takes to hand polish, or the amount of time it takes us to machine polish a car, even if we're doing a simple one step, I can't imagine how long it would take to do a hand polish. You like working in circular motions?
Yeah, circular motions. It took me like all day, and it was almost to the point where I was just wiping product around because I got to the point where I hated it.
I guess the first panel you worked on is probably the one that looks the best at the end of the day because you spent the most time on it, and then it's kind of like doing a detail now, right? But you might start on the bonnet and get it looking really good, and then by the time you're around the back, you're moving a bit quicker.
But I think what actually happened is that my dad told me to get this tin of cut and wax, cut and polish, and go around with like a little hand applicator and polish all the trim around the windows of the house. So I saw the results of that, and I was like, well, I'll just do this to the car.
Yeah.
And what was the point?
Was it a car product you were using on the house, or a house product you're using on the car?
Car product on the car, and then car product
on the house. Was it that white tin? Like it's a white tin?
It's a white tin.
Plastic bit on the top with the sponge inside?
No. It was like a white tin. I think it was like yellow writing, cut and polish. And one of those, those little foam round pad things.
Yeah, I feel like
you blow through it after the second wipe.
The foam starts falling away on it. I think those are like the Maguire's ones that would be included in the wheel
everyone makes
stuff.
them. Everyone makes them. It's like a little round sponge paddy thing, applicator pad. And I thought I was like showroom polish.
Was that a regular thing? Was that one-off?
Once, never again.
And this is a car that you take through. Do you hand wash it or auto car wash?
Always. No, I couldn't afford to take it through the car wash.
Yeah, so hand wash after the home
this
cut
was
and
like
polish.
Using Sunlight dishwashing liquid. Wash the car.
Yeah.
One bucket, one sponge.
In the sun.
Like this is a car that my dad spray painted the front of the rust out of the bonnet.
I feel like
what was I doing?
It was red though, wasn't it?
It was red, but it was oxidized.
Yeah, I feel like it's always a red car. If I'm watching YouTube and someone does like a barn find and does this transformation of the paint, it's always red.
Well, red seems to be the color that is, for some reason, notorious for having clear coat failure on it.
Oxidizing away.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
I'd never hand polished a car. I mean, I find
and this was 2-door car, so it wasn't big. It took me ages.
Yeah. This is a little red racer.
Little red racer.
Would have been looking good pulling up to the Hilton, all polished.
Yeah, little red racer at the Hilton.
Did you do many dry wipes?
Oh yeah, I love to dry wipe. I actually did dry wiping. I started doing dry wiping on the blue Subaru before I realized that you could do a waterless wash. But I always did a waterless wash way beyond the safety of doing a waterless wash.
Like filth on the car.
Yeah, it would have months worth of road film, waterless wash.
You did probably do that with the Subaru as well, right? When you got your Pride of Joy. Yeah.
So that's where I started dry wiping, would have been on the Subaru.
So
because I was in the apartment, remember, and I couldn't, no running water.
See, I find that crazy that you've still got the same car. You've changed that little. You've still got the same car that you were terrible at detailing on, and now you're
Still
way better at detailing.
loosely terrible as well.
You'll hear about some mistakes we still make along the way, so maybe not expert
Well,
level,
that's
but
my statement remains true. Like, if you think you're that good at detailing, you're still going to make mistakes. I bet there's professional people that still burn clear coat.
yeah.
I bet there's professionals that still rip badges off. I bet there's professionals that still, I don't know, do things they shouldn't do.
I think the key is in being a professional is how you handle it.
Well, the
when
word
that thing goes
professional is
wrong.
quite loosely played around with as well.
Yeah.
I mean, anyone doing something, getting paid, does that class you as being a professional?
Technically, yeah.
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 So we're professional.
Well, we are, yeah. But we make mistakes along the way. I think my earliest mistakes that I would make is I wasn't really into detailing at all until I think we talked in the previous podcast around the green Holden Commodore that I bought. And that was like my first car that I parked in a garage. And I remember I would just go out there late in the evening, it'd be dark. I'd go in there with one towel, the Maguire's Ultimate Spray Wax, that, the one, the Skittle smelling product. And I had no idea what it did. To me, it was just like a spray on, it was just like a detail spray. Like, I'll clean my car using this. Because at the same time, if I was taking that car out and about, I'd go down to Wash World. That was like 3 minutes drive from my house. And I would get the broom out.
Oh, yeah. See, I never used the broom at the wash worlds.
You've never hit the broom.
I never hit the broom. Like, it's quite weird. So you look back and I did that dumb stuff, but I never watched a YouTube video on how to clean a car until well after you and I met. And so, but I feel like I just through trial and error got to a point where I was washing probably pretty safely without being told how to wash safely.
See, I wasn't. I didn't watch the YouTube videos as well. The only way I'd see people washing cars is, you watch Dad when you're younger. It's like, okay, well, that's how you wash the car. You might see the neighbour wash their car.
Yeah.
And I think where I lived when I started getting some nice cars is I was driving past Wash World every day. So it's like, how do you wash your car? Well, like those guys over there.
Yeah,
using the
until
high
you look
pressure
at the
hose.
brush and you look at the brush and you're like, that brush has got so much mud in it. No, I don't even want to get my hands to touch that thing.
I remember I would spray it. So in my head, I must have gone, oh, this doesn't look great. Like, I need to clean this off a bit. But I feel like that was only to get like big chunks of mud out of it.
I used to use the salt spray every wash.
What, salt away?
Yeah,
Why?
because I thought that was like a pre-wash.
Were you? I mean, you
Because
live
it was
by the
number
sea.
one on the list of like.
Oh, so you thought it was an order?
Yeah,
Oh my goodness! See, the things that you don't know when you don't know.
but I realized that was for like boats and stuff that were like getting washed at.
Did someone have to tell you that? Or
No,
you
I
just learned through
finally
YouTube?
figured out. I was like, oh, I'm not spending money on this one. I'll go to the next one.
I think I only ever went high pressure rinse. I'd always rinse first, and then I'd go brush, and then I would rinse off, and then I would do the spray wax.
Yeah, always do the spray wax.
And
Never
then
dry.
Spot free rinse. No dry. And then I'd take it over to the little vacuum bay, and they always had like the fragrance. There was like a stick that you like put your coin in by the vacuum, and it like infused fragrance in the car.
See, I never did the interior wash because I got like anxious that I was spending too much time at the self-serve, and I was like, I can't be here any longer than the person behind me.
Were you slow at the time when you were doing your car wash?
Nah, I just didn't want to. I just didn't want to be that guy that was there all the
You
time.
didn't want to block up a bay.
So I'd do the
Yeah.
interior at home.
Okay. I don't remember doing the interior. I just remember just doing the fragrance stick. Like that was not my favorite thing to do, but that was like the thing to do. It was there. It was like, yeah, cool. I'll wash my car. Let me have it smell real nice.
The thing I didn't like about the vacuums is it was quite expensive and you didn't get much vacuuming time.
No, probably $2 a pop as well.
And you'd get like, I don't know, a couple of minutes.
Yeah. You'd always be rushing.
Yeah.
Because
And
I'd be
it stressed
like,
me out.
I don't want to put another coin in because I only need that to do like another little section. Yeah. So you do a rush job. I mean, we haven't been back to the coin-operated car wash, and it's probably been a couple of years.
To do a coin-operated car wash, like properly, thoroughly, take your time, I think you're about $10
At least.
on the wash.
I think when we went and
And
filmed
that's if you
there-
like put your own like wax on, like if you dried with
Yeah.
like Bead Maker or something.
Yeah, so if you're not doing that, you're probably $15 to $20.
Yeah, because you don't get much time.
It's probably why the normal car wash is still popular, because people are paying, $18 for the deluxe super wash down at the service station.
Well, yeah, don't they go up to like
I
25?
think they do. But you in and out of that in 5 minutes, aren't you? Not having to do any manual labour. I can see why they're still popular.
The problem about those things is that those like runners underneath that wash underneath your car?
Yes.
Yeah, I can't like drive in there without running into one.
Oh, yeah, you got to position your wheel real carefully. Big car, no way.
No,
You'd be pushing up on the sides.
Yeah, so I just
Oh, I remember I used to do the car wash as well, so I kind of did the trifecta. I would do if I'm at home, I would go in there and spray and dry wipe it down. I would then go to the coin-operated car wash and use the broom. And then I would also go through the traditional car wash. I didn't do that often because with the ute, it didn't clean properly, given that the panel kind of went down.
They never
and
clean
dipped.
properly.
No, I never cleaned properly. But I remember the one near home that I went to had like the wheel cleaners as well, like those brushes that then came and spun. But I think they were designed for like 18-inch wheels, and I had 22s. So I get this like little clean patch that's not even clean, not even halfway clean in the middle on my big chromies. And then the rest of the tyre was just destroyed. Didn't give me away.
And I think when you spent, because I'd always go mega wash because I felt like I'd want to do a mega clean, and you'd go, see, I was like, I didn't have any money. I didn't have a job. Well, I had a job, but like I didn't have any money. And so $25 on a car wash to not clean the car properly was like, forget about that. I'd rather wipe it down and have a clean car with heaps of scratches.
Well, the scratches were invisible to me at that point. I didn't know what a scratch was.
They were invisible to me until one day I was like wiping the side, and so it was in an underground car park. Like,
Yes, yep.
and dark, so everything looked really good. But this light would shine in on the one side, and I remember bending down to wipe it one day going, it looked like a scratchy. Like someone had just like scratched off half the ticket.
And that was the first time you saw scratches?
And I was like, oh, this must be bad. That was my first time of like, yeah, I screwed this up.
You've scratched your car. I bet your car was pretty scratched by the time you bought it.
Yeah, it was. Have you ever been stuck inside a automatic car wash?
Stuck? No.
I have.
What do you mean stuck in? Like the whole thing just malfunctioned and stopped?
Like the bristles over the car.
No, but I feel like that's a phobia for a lot of people.
That happened to me. It happened to me, the one on Cameron Road by Marta 10.
It's like punishment for using the coin-operated car wash.
Like it was stuck in there.
Tunnel. How do you get out? Do you have to call that emergency number that they put on the
I had to like open the door and bend the arm back, like push it. There's enough flex in those arms that you can actually
maneuver them about. What car were you in?
Subi.
Oh, so you did take it through. Oh, yeah, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you did both.
Occasionally I went through them, and then I never went back.
Was that always after like you get full tank of gas?
Nah.
And then through the car wash to feel complete?
Nah. I don't know why I went through those. But yeah, been stuck in one of those.
No, I've never been stuck in one of those before. I think we made some mistakes early, but the scratches just didn't exist to me.
We've made some expensive mistakes.
Oh, what's the most expensive?
Range Rover badges. No, that thing over there.
Oh, what, that thing up there?
Oh yeah, that thing up there.
What is that thing up there?
Yeah, that cost me a lot of money, that.
This is the original too.
Yeah, that is the original.
That is the mic won't put me up there. That is a fender off a 2019 WRX STI.
Brand new 2019
Yeah.
WRX STI. That piece of plastic's probably done 1,000 kilometres.
And it had 3,000 on it when I bought it. So this might have done 3,000 or 4,000. I don't even remember how we did this day. We weren't polishing, were we? Were we removing badges? Or were we polishing?
You wanted to remove those STI badges because you were like, wanted to add black ones with red inserts.
Yeah. I bought like 3 versions and wanted to try them all out.
And I got the heat gun. Did I get the heat gun out or the hairdryer?
Oh,
Hairdryer.
Yes.
And I melted the plastic. And then as I was peeling back with the thing, I like basically ripped all the paint off.
It's
You can see it where I've done it, eh?
It's the paint here, and then the paint like up in this corner here, just as these were just 3M adhesive with there's a little clip in there, 3M adhesive on there. And
And just when I heated the paint up and like tried to,
pry it off.
it just like melted. And so this is a brand new car, $60,000.
I remember when
just munted.
this part just showed up randomly at my door one day, and I opened the box, and in it was a brand new one of these. How much are these parts?
I have to get the invoice out. My phone's over there, but I said I'd tell you one day. But
You did. Are we talking like hundreds?
Yeah.
How did you get this part?
I rang up the Subaru dealership and was like, "Here's the paint code for this car. Do you have these?" And she's like, "Yep." And I was like, "Send it to me."
They had these in stock.
Yep.
Ah, interesting. Like locally.
Well,
Like
I think
in New Zealand.
I think so. Yeah, in New Zealand. Well, yeah, because we'll have to have a check, but I can't remember. I'm pretty sure they were in stock locally.
It's a little ornament now.
I mean, I would imagine, given that is like, Subaru's have got indicators just above the, well, I guess it's below the wing mirror, but sort of behind, that one there is behind the front wheels, because that's actually an air vent in there, right?
Yeah, it is. So that would have been on
but it doesn't go anywhere, yeah?
No, that is a fake. That is a fake vent.
So it's just behind the front wheel, and I would imagine that is a real high impact zone for stones and stuff to flick up, and it's kind of like a flared out piece. So I would imagine that is probably a pretty common
part that they go through.
Part that people would go through, but yeah.
It's so minuscule. Like when I look at it now, like it's time. Touch-up paint would have fixed that. No trouble.
Yeah, but this is a brand new car.
Yeah.
And you've just ripped the paint off. Like, it doesn't look that big, but it's pretty significant.
The funny thing about this is I remember that was the first car that I did a proper paint correction on. Have we done your car beforehand?
No.
No, this would have been the first car. I had a Rockwell polisher, so just the cheapest polisher I could buy from the local auto store, and we had no lighting. So I wasn't inspecting anything as I went, maybe a flashlight. And
that's right. We had that little drill attachment. Maguire's actually brought out these. They brought out these. It was like a little foam pad attached to a little drill piece, and you put that in your drill, and you could use it as a polishing. I guess it would almost mimic basically a rotary type polish.
It would have been a 3-inch rotary.
Yeah, and it was only 3-inch, and you could actually buy 3 pads. I think you could buy that burgundy, which would be their heavy cut pad. They had a yellow one, which I guess would be their soft or medium, and then there must have been another color, which I didn't buy. And it had a little handle out the side of it, so you could use it in the drill and hold here, and you could like.
Did you not polish your whole car with that?
Nah.
Will you use it to apply wax or something? No.
No, I don't know why I don't know why I bought those.
Odd thing for you to have.
Yeah, real odd, because I didn't own a drill.
Yeah, I don't know why you had that. We used that though. Polished that car using that 5-inch and the Maguire's drill handle rotary.
Drill handle thing, yeah.
But
I doubt we polished much.
I don't think we did at all. We just moved.
Polish around.
Yeah, the only person I watched polish a car online at that point was Obsessed Garage. And I'd seen he used Jessica correcting compound. So I bought Jessica in like 2 pads, and then Perfect Finish by Sonax and another 2 pads.
And if I'm honest, I don't think Jessica cuts that well.
I don't think it does either.
Not on like Subaru paint, which from our experience is actually quite hard paint. Yeah. We've polished 3 Subarus now.
1, 2, 3. Yep.
And I've used Maguire's M101 and still don't cut.
And I think I used Griot's correcting compound or fast correcting cream, which and a bit of Cut Max as well, actually. So you didn't correct anything. No, and I think that's the thing. If you kind of don't know what you're doing with polishing either, you don't know what to look for to correct.
I mean, it always looks good when you don't have an inspection light.
Oh yeah, if you're moving a bit of polish around in the paint too, yeah, you're going to add some gloss into it. But goodness, what a waste of time. I look back at that and go, far out. Like if I had just done a bit more research and knew what to look for, I don't think it was the gear, because I think you could still get good results with average gear, but I think it's more technique in knowing what to look for.
Probably. Yeah.
You know, I reckon we could do a car with one of those Rockwell polishers. It'd take us a long time. Wouldn't be a pleasant sound either to listen to.
No.
I'm not sure about the drill attachment rotary. You still got that?
No, I don't have that.
Long gone.
I got 2. No, actually, I think what happened is you bought the... I'm just trying to think.
It was a kit, wasn't it?
No, it might have been a kit, actually. No, it was... You bought the drill piece attachment with the handle thing.
Yes.
And that came with 1 pad, and then I thought you could buy pads.
Buy additional
so
pads.
It must have come... I must have bought the kit with... I remember the burgundy cut pad. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, yeah, I need the most aggressive pad. So I would have bought that. And then I think I remembered there was a yellow pad.
So you must have used this on a car. There's no way you bought this just to bring it around to give it
Maybe
a
I
home.
bought it for your car.
Thinking that we'd do that and then do your car.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Because we used the Rupiah's polishes for the first time on my car.
I think if you go on the Omni Garage channel, actually, and look back to that
You'll be able
detailing
to see.
series, you'll be able to see it.
But I didn't own a drill. So...
Yeah. So maybe you did buy it just for that, given I did have a drill. Goodness.
Yeah, that was a bit stupid. Anyway.
Yeah.
So in more recent times...
Yeah, we've made a few mistakes.
This is why you get insurance.
Yeah, which we have.
If you're running a professional detailing shop, you get insurance. Because you will make mistakes.
Yeah.
You will blow through paint. You will take stuff off that the customer never told you they have, and you'll take it off. You will blow through your front door.
Yeah, goodness, I forgot about that mistake. Should we go back to the first mistake that we can remember? The plasti dip?
Yeah, you can talk about Mr. Plastic Dip.
So I think Glenn's right. Like, the insurance is really important, and we haven't had to use our insurance because our insurance is there for... We do pick up, drop off. So in my mind, the insurance is there for... Oh, you need that?
Yeah. Thanks.
It's gone further. The insurance is there in my mind for we put the car through a wall or someone T-bones us. You know,
Yeah, because, if we're driving and we have car accident,
we need cover.
then that's pretty important.
The professional negligence side of it or mistakes happening, yeah, like that's cool. Maybe the garage door's up and it falls off its tracks on the car. Yeah, we're going to claim there for the damage.
Falls off the shelf and dings, it'll cracks the window. I mean, insurance is not going to cover you if you're a...
No. Can you say that on the podcast?
I can say whatever I want. If you go back and listen close enough on the last podcast, I said worse than... But...
Is that the sparkling?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think if you have insurance and you're safe and you try and do things the best way, then it will cover you if you do make an honest mistake.
So we haven't had to use our insurance. We've just paid out of pocket for any of the mistakes we've made over the time. But I mean, one of the ones that come to mind was we had a customer bring his car in, and to us it looked like he had matte black badges on the rear of the car.
Yeah, it was a Mercedes-Benz dressed up like an AMG, right?
It was, and we needed to remove tar from it. It was a white car, and I don't think it had ever seen a tar remover in its life.
I don't think it was seen it clean.
Yeah, it was caked
They
on.
were actually some of the worst wheels I've ever seen.
In brake dust, yeah, we didn't even clean it on the driveway. We took it off the driveway to do the initial clean because it was just filthy. But we sprayed Tarex all around that car, just as we would any other car. And because he hadn't told us, hey, look, my badges are plasti dubbed, and it's not a question that we even thought to
rear
ask.
wing at the back.
Yeah. But the badges, I feel like the badges were plasti dipped as well.
Yeah, they would have been, yeah. But it was that duck bill at the back.
Yep.
I don't know, yeah, a little spoiler.
A little spoiler.
A boot spoiler thing.
The Tarex wasn't on there for long, but my goodness, if you ever need to remove plasti dip from a car,
Use Tarex.
Tarex would have gone.
Yep. We peeled all that off.
The car looked great when he picked it up,
Oh, yeah.
but he didn't have a black plasti dip spoiler anymore.
No.
And then we've done more badges. How did we do? So we were working on a Range Rover, and that Range Rover had silver badges. How did we do that?
I think what happened is that there was a combination of things that actually took place. Is that I think Tarex and some water spot removing products are probably some of the harshest chemicals you come across during your decon phase. And I think if you've got badges that are starting to have, I don't know what's over the top of a badge, but let's just say it's like a clear coat finish. It won't be, but it's got this. It's
like a lacquer of some
sort. It's
sort.
got a clear finish to it,
Yeah.
and that sort of protects the color of the badge. And I think badges don't come the actual color that you've got. Badges come like a black finish, and then they paint the color over the top.
Correct.
And then they top it with a clear varnish or a clear something.
Because they're generally plastic.
And I think when that clear, let's just call it a clear. I don't know if that's a real word. Someone here will tell me off for using the wrong word, but go ahead. That clear, when that starts to fail, it starts to get cracks inside of it, and you can actually look really closely, and you can start to see bubbles and badges. And I think when you get those harsh chemicals in there, it might be Tarex, it might be a water spot remover. It sort of, I guess, starts to delaminate everything inside.
Well, it can seep into the pores as well.
Correct. And then you don't really know that that's actually happening, because then you go and tape up the vehicle. And so then when you tape up the vehicle, you tape around all the badges because you don't want to clean in between badges. You don't want to hit them with your polisher because you'll damage them. So you tape the badges up. Then what happens is that process has seeped in there for the next 25 hours while you're polishing, and you then pull that off, and you pull the rest of the clear finish off, you pull the paint off, and you're left with what looked like a silver badge is now a black badge. And that happened to multiple letterings of, I don't know if you know, but front of the Range Rover, of a Range Rover's got Range Rover, and it's spaced out all along the bonnet. And I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 letters, we ripped the finish off Range Rover badges.
We're super careful. We tape up the car, so we'll tape the headlights, as Glenn said, we tape the badges. Number one, so you don't hit them with a polisher and take that finish off, and so you don't have to get all the polished dust out of them. But I think that's where being ultra careful came back to bite us a little bit, because you're right. 3 days later, when you go to take the tape off, you're very gentle as well. A little bit of product got caught under there, and my goodness.
And you've spent all these hours polishing the vehicle. You've got a customer deadline to meet, and now you've gone and screwed the badges. So then you now have to order new badges on. Well, we live in arse end of nowhere, and try get Range Rover badges today.
Even if you can get hold of them, they're very, very expensive, Range Rover badges.
Yes.
You can hop on AliExpress and get some, but
you can. But
that's not the real deal.
OEM badges came off that vehicle, so OEM badges will go back on that vehicle.
Correct.
And so we get badges shipped very quickly at a large expense, and we now specialise in not only plastic tip removal but badge removal.
We did a great job at reapplying those badges.
Well, yeah, so I guess the trick is that I took the badges off, the ones that were damaged, I took those off, and when you take a badge off, you're left with like the lettering residue, which is super easy to then place that and put it back on. And so the spacing is perfect, the lineup is perfect. But I guess if you took that badge off and then removed all the residue, then you're kind of screwed about placement. And actually, I think the Range Rover ones actually came with a template, didn't they?
I think it did come with a template, but I think a really common thing for people to do in Range Rovers is swap out their badges to black if they haven't opted for like the black pack on the car. But you can totally see if you're behind a Range Rover and someone's done a DIY job on replacing their badges, they're all over the show. Even with a template, I don't think you end up with a very good look. So
if you don't have a keen eye to look for straightness, then don't do a badge removal.
No, don't do a badge swap, removal. Just
leave them alone.
Leave them alone. Take them to a pro. So that was pretty costly mistake.
But I think the key mistakes here is that have insurance, and if you make a mistake, just get it fixed. And just the best thing you can do is have the honest conversation with the customer and say, hey, look, we think this happened to your badges. We've taken your badges off. We have new ones coming. Do you mind the delay in us delivering your vehicle to you because we're putting badges back on?
Yep. And there was a case.
No one's ever going to hate you for that. What they're going to hate you for is that when they pick their car, it's all nice and shiny, and 3 letters are missing because you've decided to take them off and not replace them, or you've got 5 silver lettering, and the rest are all black because you made a mistake. So just get it fixed. But
I think those are the 2 probably biggest mistakes that we've made that we had to actually fork out of pocket to fix.
We haven't burnt through any customers' paint.
No, I've been through my own paint. But I think, goodness, I have a theory as to what happened. So it was while I was working on the
history of the
blue
vehicle is
WRX.
extremely important here. So actually, if you're taking delivery of a vehicle like a customer, it's quite important to ask that customer, have you had an accident? Has anything been resprayed here?
Yeah.
Has anything been replaced on this vehicle? And they often say, I don't really know. But at least you've had that conversation and you explain why you've had that conversation. It's like, well, because if you don't tell me about things and I burn through the paint, then we're going to have a serious conversation about why this happened.
I think that history is important. I think if a panel's been repainted, that probably makes your job easier because you've probably got more clear to work with.
Or less clear.
Yeah,
I think you
less
probably
clear.
just avoid that area.
Yeah,
It
unless it's
is
a whole
obvious to
panel.
find. Like you can.
Oh,
Well,
you can tell when you're working.
a shoddy job, which means that if it's a shoddy job, which means you shouldn't touch it because you will wreck it, is pretty obvious. Good repaints are pretty hard to tell.
I think touch-up paint is what you want to know about.
Yeah,
And that's
what happened to you, right?
That's where I've run into the issue. So on the door of the WRX, there were a couple of spots where you could see touch-up paint had been applied, and this was quite a big section where you could see like there were maybe 3 little dots around it. And I remember I hit it with.
It almost looked yellow, didn't it?
Well, I was on my third pass. I remember polishing, and the thing I noticed is I took it off because I must have done 4 passes with perfect finish. No, with compound. I was cutting compound, so I did my 4 passes. I remember pulling it off, and on the pad I could see some blue. Like, oh my goodness! And then I looked at the panel. I'm like, I can't really see anything on there. Like everything looks all right. And then I got the light and really focused on it, and I could see
behind the blue's yellow, right? I think that's how they layer that color up.
Yeah, it was. What I think had happened is I don't think I burnt through the paint. I think that when they had done a touch up on there that I wasn't really aware of, what's happened is they've done a sand. So they've gone and wet sanded it back to bare metal. And instead of like dabbing a little touch up, they've kind of touched up the whole area and tried to do a little blend on it without applying any clear coat over the top. So then as soon as I've come along and hit it with the first pass, well, there's no clear there. So I've just gone and removed the paint. And
there might have been a little bit of clear on there.
Maybe very little. Because it didn't take many passes to remove it. But what ended up happening there, once I saw that, I'm like, oh my goodness, there's no fixing this. Once you get to that point of too far gone, that you cannot fix it. You cannot turn around.
No. So the next key is you probably need, if you're going to do this properly, you probably need to know a good paint guy for when you really do screw up.
Do you think a paint gauge is important? We've got away up until this point without having to utilise a paint gauge. For those who don't know what we're talking about, like a paint thickness gauge, you can get some cheap ones.
I mean, people will tell you it's probably fair to use, but every video I see on a paint gauge, it's like you put the paint gauge on and it gives you one stupid number, and then you move it 2 centimeters next and it gives you another stupid number. So how accurate a paint gauge is, and I'm not spending $20,000 on a paint gauge.
Yeah, because you can get the real fancy paint gauges where you have to apply a little bit of product and then it will actually tell you layers. So you'll get
tells you the composite or whatever that layer's made up of and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I don't know. It's probably a real sort of
yeah.
like
I don't see the point in the cheap paint gauges because if you're telling me how many microns in thickness the paint is, what's important to me is not how thick the paint is. It's how much clear have I got to work with.
Yeah,
that's what
I
want to
think
know.
so. You can actually eliminate a lot of those problems by going, well, how old's the vehicle? How many times has the customer actually done this thing to it?
Yeah.
And if they say, oh, yeah, I've had 5 paint corrections on it, probably don't touch it.
Yeah, you're probably too far gone on that. There's
You
not
know,
much clear
so an
left.
old vehicle that's had a lot of correction done to it, it's probably no good. I mean, there'll be other like signs of clear coat failure, maybe some touch-up areas probably don't touch. You can have a good look at the vehicle and go, well, hey, that colour doesn't even match, so what happened to that door? You know, so there are definitely clear signs about where things you should touch or not touch, but yeah, it's a bit of a answer. I'm not sure.
I didn't have a good paint guy. I didn't. I didn't know a paint guy, right?
But now you know a good paint guy.
Now I know a paint guy, so I had to take that whole door off, and I was really concerned there as well because super glad that was my own vehicle, not a customer's, because you are putting them out of action if you have to go and get a panel repainted. There's no two ways about it. But I was concerned about taking the whole car to the painters, given it had just been paint corrected. I didn't want any risk of overspray or anything getting wiped. And I mean, the door that I took was perfectly paint corrected. What I can tell you is the door came back looking not brand new. I didn't want it to look brand new. I wanted it to look like
It had been blended
20-year-old
out
car.
nicely.
Blended out, yeah, with all the pitting and everything. I didn't want it to look brand new. But my goodness, the door has got scratches all over it from obviously the polishing. So they would have polished that out after applying the paint, and then I reckon it's a rag or a shop microfiber towel, and that's induced scratches, not just in that area, but across the whole panel. So that whole panel still needs to be repaint corrected. But
yeah, and I mean, everything, when it gets done like that, even a brand new car from the showroom floor personally delivered to you has got scratches on it. And so, yeah. But yeah, it's nice that you can get that blended out, because you're right, you don't want this World Rally Blue perfect 2024 paint colour on there with a door that's 700 years old, because that's just going to look stupid. You might as well have just left it with your half blue, half yellow hole in the middle.
That was my main concern, because the guy, when I dropped the door off, said, "Oh, cool, you've got all this pitting, right? Just the stone chips that accumulate over the years. Like, do you want all of that smoothed out?" And it's like, no, leave the character of the door. Just get my
feather it
paint,
out for me.
Feather it out. Get the paint looking right again. I've left that door now for, it's probably been 2 months, so time to paint correct it, and I can actually go and ceramic coat it now. Got a little goodie bag there.
Got a little goodie bag
Pack today. So
crack it open. Tell us about the goodie
it's
bag.
a product of the week. The reason we got a goodie bag is we didn't pick this week's product of the week. My daughter picked it, and she wanted to. She's taped this up too.
Because you can't look in there. So
no peeking.
We're going to talk about product of the week. So if you don't care about the product of the week, go get a drink, come back, and we will talk about whatever's in that bag.
I think there's more than one thing in this bag, so maybe
Don't talk about the little square thing.
Okay. Oh, should we talk about? Let's talk about this. We got a bottle in there. So this is Armour Detail Supply tire cleaner. It's a rubber and plastic cleaner. We used this product recently. What are your thoughts on that?
So what's really important is that when you have brand new tyres, or you have really dirty tyres, and you want to apply a dressing or a sealant to the tyre, you need to make sure that you clean it really well. So you want to be able to pull all the dirt out of that tyre. As you do that, there's some chemical makeup of the tyre that will bleed out some bleaching as well. So you don't want to do that too much, because you want to leave those properties in the tyre, because that's what's stopping it from cracking, etc. And so you want to clean that tyre really well, but you don't want to push it too far, because you still want to maintain longevity of the tyre. And so once that tyre is really clean, using this product, you'll see that the tyre will turn black. It'll basically make a mess all over the ground, but that's perfect, because your tyre will be clean, ready for you to now accept a tyre dressing. And the reason why you want that is because you want to get the longevity out of your tyre dressing. You want your tyre dressing to behave like the packet says, so you want to give it the best opportunity. And you're right, we've just made a video comparing basically that product with CarPro Retire, and we talked about our thoughts. The chemical makeup and the performance of the chemical are pretty much the same. We didn't really get a different result, but the way that one's applied compared to the other is just a user experience, so it's a bit of a personal preference. And if you go back and have a look at that video, it got released today, there's been a lot of comments on how people feel, and they both agree, well, most people are agreeing that Armour Detail Supply Tyre Cleaner, out of those two options, seems to be the better of the two.
And what I hadn't done much research on either is the cost. So I think cost for us is a bit of a moot point. We're looking for the best product, and we'll end up paying whatever that cost is. And generally, the cost is way inflated, because we're in the middle of nowhere here at the bottom of the world. But Armour Detail Supply Tire Cleaner is actually pretty affordable when you compare it to some of the other products on the market, in particular Retire, and dilutable as well. And it comes with a better sprayer. Way easier to apply this, as you said. So user experience is far superior. So if you're interested in tyre cleaner, either go and watch the video on the Omni Garage channel, or just head over to houseofrags.com and
pick yourself a bottle up.
Yeah, you're going to need a gallon.
Yeah, buy yourself a gallon.
That will
well, you need to buy
a
yourself that bottle, because you need the sprayer and you need that sort of application of it. But yeah, you're going to use a gallon of it. What else you got in the bag?
In the bag, I mean, it's not necessarily product of the week, but I guess we can finish by talking about this. It's actually a sample pack from SEMA. We've got two things in here. I've got no more mistakes to talk about, do you? I think that's pretty much
I don't think we've made any more mistakes. I definitely have one big success that we've figured.
What's that?
We'll talk about these, and then we can talk about that.
Okay. I'll give you that there.
I've got a couple of questions that I'd like to ask people too, but this sort of relates to this a little bit. But
this is something we've been playing
with. You go
with
that first, though.
Yeah, this is something we've been playing with a little bit lately. So these are products from Biobombs, and we actually met Christian, the owner of Biobombs, at the SEMA show. Super, super nice guy. He gave us a whole bunch of samples, which we've got in our hand right here, and your hand there as well. And we've just been playing with these over the last little while. So We've used the minis to create like a spray to do interior wipe down, interior cleaning. You've used that in a steamer as well, and then we've also used some of the bars. So these they come in really nice little bags. I like the way that they're packaged, and actually he's done a really good job on the.
It's really nice,
the
presentable.
samples.
The packaging is really cool. I quite like the branding around the Biobomb. It's quite, sort of funky. They're a funky group of guys, and so yeah, I think they do a really good job. And you got anything else to say about that?
Oh, I mean, we've tried the bars. So we have tried it a few different ways. You've tried half a bar in your car. I've tried half a bar. And then I've gone whole bar as well. And I can tell you, you do not need a whole bar of this product in your car. You can snap it in half. It says here, 60 days of freshness. I mean, I'm a month in on 2 different bars, one half, one whole, and I can still smell both of them in the car. It's not like one of the sprays that you get that you spritz and 2 hours later it's gone. Like you are going to have this linger around in your interior. So if you're into interior smells, I think Biobombs is something that you want to check out. But they are powerful. It's not a smell that you can get rid of quickly.
No.
You're going to have that lingering in the interior for a long time. So probably you want to love the scent that you pick up.
So I think what's really important about car interior smells is that there is probably no product that I have used that has been able to remove odor from the vehicle.
Are you talking about the recent odor that you picked up in the Subaru, or just
in general? So even before that, right? So I have used lots of things where you like open the can, let it spray. So like long periods of like smells being diffused
with aircon on recirculation and stuff,
being like trying to be removed. And like I've taken the little filters out as well. So like I've done some pretty heavy chasing of removing an odor. I've used a bunch of car products like SiO2 that are odor removals. I've used odor removal sprays, but all that tends to do, I haven't used an ozone machine. Now that's getting pretty technical now. But everything that you can buy as a chemical on the market tends to be something that masks to some degree, but doesn't even mask. Like you can smell a scent, but the undertone is still butt sweat smell.
And you haven't removed the actual cause of the smell.
No. And so this was kind of like Biobombs was kind of like a hot topic at SEMA. Like meeting Christian was super interesting. I was really interested about how they go about odor removal because to that date, nothing had worked for me. And I was a bit suspicious as well. I was like, here's another gimmick product, And it's not until I came back from being overseas for 3 months that car was locked away and it smelled like an ashtray. Now, how you would remove that smell using the Biobomb products is that you would clean everything using the Biobomb minis. So you put this it's like a little tablet. You put that in a bottle of water and it would release, it would start to disintegrate like you put a Barocca into water. And it changes color as it reacts.
Like bubbles and fizzes up.
So you make your solution. You use that to wipe down all your interior surfaces. You can then take that a next step further and you could maybe put that in an APC to sort of give your APC some more kick if you needed to do some scrubbing, like, your kids have just chucked up everywhere and all your plastics are full of spew, like you need to like get in there and scrub it out. You can then put these in your steamer, so you could steam the seats and go a bit harder. You could put it in your carpet extractor. So these things are pretty versatile. So you'd get to the point where you clean down all your hard surfaces, you clean everything, and that's as far as I went with removing the cigarette smoke, and I probably cleaned that about 80% of the smell. The next step in the process would be that you would use their diffuser thing. So there's a big tablet that goes into a bottle of like water, sits in the center console, and you let that basically diffuse for up to 12 hours.
That's the product that I'm disappointed we didn't bring back with us
If
from
you have
SEMA, the oxygenator.
If you have the oxygenator, you can cut that down to an hour.
Yeah.
And that will fully eliminate the smell. I don't have one. I haven't used that, but I bet you it works. And so that's how you basically remove odor from the vehicle. And I can tell you now it works because I pretty much did it with this, just alone.
Have you got rid of the smell? Is it gone 100% now?
It hadn't gone completely.
Yeah.
But then what I then did is I then put one of the bio bars in there and the scent's gone. The smell's gone. I don't know if the Biobomb bar has like masked the scent, but it's definitely removed everything. So I can tell you now these products work.
Yeah, these are strong. So I think that this may have the ability to mask up as well.
Probably.
So maybe if
probably
this
is a
comes
strong
out.
mask, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I reckon this is the only product that I've used to date that's been able to remove scents. And so how I like the car to smell is, for 99% of the time, I like it to smell neutral. I don't like it to smell like anything. I drive the car daily, all the time. I don't want to smell an impact of the scent because I think it gets quite sickly. You get a bit, I think over time what happens is you build up some sort of sensitivity to the smell, so you don't actually notice it anymore. And then you just get sick of it, because what happens is you tend to layer up. So you go, oh, that doesn't smell like anything anymore. So then you layer up and you layer up and you layer up and you layer up. And then you have a car that just reeks of this smell.
Especially if you go into a different scent. You're layering a different one on that.
You're layering and layering and you're constantly masking. So I like to have a smell neutral most of the time. And then I just put a couple of sprays of a scent into the vehicle. That lasts a day or so. I might do that after a wash. I might do that if I'm going for a long drive. I might do that just because I feel like I want to do that. But I know that it's only going to last a day. I know that everything else is just going to filter through and we're back to neutral.
So the product that we want, really, I'm just dreaming this up now, is a Biobomb bar called Neutral.
Well, no,
It's like a...
yeah, I suppose. That just does nothing.
That does nothing but eat.
But eat the funk in the car.
Yeah.
So it has no smell attached to it, but whatever's doing is doing the thing.
I don't know chemically how that would work, but
Christian will figure it out.
There's spray products. He will figure it out. I want Biobomb Neutral.
Biobomb
neutralizer.
No smell, just a normal thing that sits in the car and eats away.
That you then can go and do your 2 spritzes of product that's going to last 2 hours because this is going to eat it up. But when you want the smell, you got the smell.
And I'd like to challenge Christian again on another thing. And I would like you to make an interior cleaner that uses this type of process.
Yep.
So if you could deliver an interior cleaner that basically had this inside it, I think we've got a game changer.
Yeah, so much easier than making that each time.
Yeah,
Just a
because
pre-mixed
here's
bottle.
my question. It's like, if I've got my favorite interior cleaner, can I add one of these to my interior cleaner? And what does that do for me?
Oh, as in like drop that in the bottle. Okay. We might have to...
Because what does that do? Like, can I do that? Does that damage the properties of the interior cleaner I'm using? Does that degrade the properties of this? Does this only work well in straight water? And so, first of all, can I do that? Can I put this in my everyday interior cleaner? I don't know. What do we got up there?
Geon Interior.
Geon Interior, Greer's Garage interior cleaner. Can I put that in there and use that as my interior cleaner? Does that affect anything? And can you make us a real good interior cleaner that works on all surfaces that uses this technology?
So you're asking that question to the people, but...
Or to the people, to Christian.
Yeah.
Come up with some cool stuff. He'll probably be like, oh yeah, I've already got that cooking up.
Yeah, we might have to just tag him this episode. I'm keen on the neutral.
Neutral sounds
we need the neutral and we need the question answered.
And so I thought about this the other day and I was like, well, we have made quite a few videos on the Biobomb products and they don't seem to take off.
No, I don't think enough people know about how good these products are.
And so I did a quick Google search, and actually on YouTube, the best performing video about biobombs that I could find was from Pan the Organizer, 25,000 views.
Okay.
The next best video I could find was Jamie the Cleaner's short, 55,000 views.
Okay, but it's a short, so
It's
you're
short,
not getting a full story.
So, yeah, correct. And then it then dropped to 11,000. So those are 3 videos that I found. The next best video had 1,000 views, which is kind of like a bit of a weird point to think about, is that the most views on YouTube that people are interested in is like the best soap, the best ceramic spray sealant, dumb stuff like that. That actually, you could pick 10 real good soaps, be happy with it. You could pick 10 real nice sealants and be happy with it. But the most thing that I think people don't recognize that they need, that they really do need, is, I bet you 99% of people's cars on this planet, their interior stinks.
Yep.
And this is so easy for you to do at home.
I'm super interested in this product category.
I think it's, I just don't understand why. First of all, people probably don't know about it too much.
Yeah.
We are probably the only people in New Zealand talking about this. And this is a product that every single person needs, that they don't realise that they need it.
Is this on the House of Rags Australia website?
Yes, you can only buy the bars. You can't buy these. There must be some, I think they've talked about it before. I bet you customs don't like this product.
Yeah, okay.
From
So
a shipping
no
point of view.
oxygenator, no minis. No
Well, first of all,
sprays yet.
oxygenator, yeah, because it comes with batteries, I think, or yeah. But they don't. I know he's talked about it before. They don't like the tablets.
Okay, we need to get our hands on the oxygenator. I think that's next step of existing products.
So I just thought that the product that people need the most is the product that no one actually knows that they need it. The product that people need the least is a real good soap, because there's hundreds of good soaps and spray sealants. There's hundreds of those. Yet that seems to be the thing that everyone cares about.
So we need to do a video and like clickbait it, like the best spray sealant, and then hit them with a bio bomb.
You reckon?
Boom, got ya.
Yeah, I guess so. But
Introduce the people to the product.
So if you want to get these as well, go to thehouseofrags.com. We've done like half a video on the products of the week, but these are really good. I recommend them.
So there you go. Glenn's got a couple of questions. Let us know in the chat if you've got any thoughts around the interior cleaning, the bio bombs. Hopefully, Christian, you can drop us a comment as well, or maybe we need to get you along on a future episode and ask you these questions face to face and have a conversation about them. But I think that's pretty much it for this week.
Catch you next week, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday.
Cool. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.